The educated individual today is the most dangerous individual on earth. Educated human beings today, ladies and gentlemen, are twisted and distorted, and they represent the greatest danger to life on earth. How do I say that? When this world ends, and if it ends, it will not be brought to an end by muggers, by rapists, by robbers, by dropouts. It will be brought to an end by PhDs. It will be brought to an end by people who have clipped lawns and little lovely kids and two-car garages. It will be brought to an end by the pillars of society, who go to church, who vote, who are concerned with the Board of Education, but who will also go to work and design bombs and design all kinds of offensive and defensive weapons, doctors who will design germ warfare, botanists who will design biological warfare to destroy crops, psychologists who will design methods of destroying people's minds and so forth, sociologists who will determine how you can destroy a society and its values. So the thing that we must recognize, that education in a Eurocentric society is an education for war. And every discipline is a part of that war effort. Every discipline is a part of its scheme to dominate other people. The African American student is often deceived by this type of thing. They're deceived into thinking that the education they're receiving is non-political, which is the most political thing of all. All disciplines are related in some way to politics, and all disciplines are in some way related to maintaining the dominance of Eurocentric society. The Eurocentric society is one that is based on death and domination. And those people who are educated in it are educated to bring death and domination upon other people. The stimulant for African-centered education is, what do we want as a people, and how are we going to get it, and what are our intentions in the world? And how then are we going to educate our children so that those intentions can be fulfilled and actualized as a people? Because what did I tell you before? Colin Powell knows how to read well, and yet he uses his reading capacity to bomb and destroy black people. So it's not enough to teach them to read well. Other black mathematicians have worked on U.S. projects, nuclear research and bombs and so forth, so that they may be dropped on African populations. Ronald McNair and others were learned in physics. And what were they being used to do? To seed space with weapons so that the United States could intimidate African nations and destroy African nations from 400 and 500 miles out in space. It is not enough to get your children just to read well and know math well. They must read for a reason. They must read for an African reason and purpose. There must be an African intentionality involved in their learning to read and write and to do mathematics. If they are not being educated merely to make more money so that they can spend more money, you will never spin yourself out of oppression. As a matter of fact, again referring to the black-on-black violence, through our habits of consumption, we actually finance our oppression. Yes. We enrich our oppressors, increase their wealth, increase their power, and we create and maintain within ourselves a consciousness that maintains our oppression. We are so caught up in the consciousness of consumerism that we commit violence against one another in order to engage in consumer behavior. We sell poison to our children. We corrupt our communities. We disinvest the wealth of our communities. And we think that this is an expression of freedom And this is an expression of wealth and status. And this means that we, since we consume equally to white folk, since we drive the same cars as white folk, live in the same houses, the same neighborhood as white folk, we are the same as white folks, you are foolish. It is that very sameness that is maintaining the inequality.